Hello and welcome to another Arkis video and to a new daily race A on Gran Turismo 7. And since Polyphony has decided to just copy-paste an entire selection of daily races from an earlier week, we are at this exact combo we've already had. We are at Watkins Glen, the short layout, and we are in the 2002 R34 Nissan GT-R V-Spec 2 Nürburgring on sports hard tires.
Smoke if you got 'em.
I ended up doing 3 races this morning, certainly contained a bit of everything, including one of the really fast drivers having a bit of a moment in one of the races. But we'll get back to that, and if you are enjoying the content, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. It is highly appreciated. Now let's jump into the first race. So here we are, first available race of the week. I'm starting without a qualifying time. I was struggling a bit to remember how to drive this car, but throughout the morning we were starting to figure it out. But we are starting in P6. We had a lot of drivers starting without a qualifying time in this one. And as usual, just trying to take it easy into turn 1. Everyone is taking it fairly easy and a nice clean turn 1. We are just tucking in behind Spaced Cosmo, coming up the hill. Although it looks like, am I going to get a slight run on them? I think I am. But no, not really anything we could use to anything. I'm just pulling out just to see where I am going. But they are actually backing completely out of that one. So basically got handed the position and I am all clumsy through the bus stop chicane. The thing is, you need to really do late downshifts in this car, which I haven't learned yet. So throughout the first couple of races, I am doing it all wrong and I am suffering from it. Here Spaced Cosmo is coming flying in. I was wondering whether they would make the corner, but they made the corner just fine. We've got another car running wide there. So we lost the position and gained the position. And yeah, you can see someone mentioning that the Russian driver was having a really laggy connection. We are going to feel that the hard way later on in this video. But for now, we are still behind Spaced Cosmo, who is running a tiny bit wide. We are just trying to get the right line, and we actually managed to end up on the outside, which is turning into the inside on the upcoming corner. But now we've got a tight situation. The German driver is serving a penalty. We almost ran out of space there, and I got a bit out of shape. I was just too concerned trying to get ahead before the corner, so I braked too late, and we are back to P5, only this time with a half-second penalty as well for running wide into the penultimate corner. So yeah, in P5 still now Spaced Cosmo is running wide as well, so they will also pick up a penalty. We are on the inside, and yeah, just letting us go. So we are still behind the German driver. I served the penalty, and now we are going to jump to the end of lap 4, and we gain a free position here, and we are going to jump to the middle of the last lap. I had been gaining on P2, but now I get the bus stop all wrong, all out of shape, all over the grass, and lost a lot of time, but I still cut the track. So of course I need to get that half-second penalty as well. So yeah, that was not the most elegant end of the race, and let's just top it off with another half-second penalty on the penultimate corner exit. But we've got a big gap behind us, so we are going to secure a P3 in this first race. And now I will try to set a qualifying time in the rather short break between the races. But I still haven't figured out the car. I still need to watch a top time ghost and see what I'm doing wrong. Now I am close to the rather laggy Russian driver, you can see on my right hand side, and I already had a bad feeling about this when we went in to turn 1, and sure enough I get lag punted off the track, and now I'm just bleeding positions, but I still went off the track. You know this game, I deserve that half-second penalty. Let's have a look at this from the Russians' perspective. Just as we're coming into turn 1, their connection goes all crazy, and I just get yeeted off the track. Not the Russians' fault, but could need a better connection. And now I made a tiny bit of contact with the Greek driver, so I needed to lift off and make sure they survived that. So I lost another position, and I've still got that half-second penalty to serve. Can we make our way through the bus stop at least? Sort of okay. I am almost being held up a tiny bit now. I am on the outside of that other driver, and I don't want to be there, so we are just backing off. We are coming up towards the penalty zone now, and yeah, I think it's time to sort of start all over on this race. So we are serving the penalty, and now let's try again. We are coming into the final corner, and we are starting our return run. We are gaining a position. We had a driver who was really going sideways and was recovering from that. Now we are having a drag race down the start-finish straight. I don't think I'm going to win this one. I need to brake early. I am on a narrow angle, and yeah, we managed to keep it together, and I'm actually still on the inside, and this time I managed to sneak ahead, so we gained another position. And as we're coming into the bus stop, yeah, we've got an exit stage right happening in front of us, so that was another position. We are having the Greek driver running wide. We've got a car in the pits. I don't really know why. So we are up into P5, and yeah, the Greek driver is getting a penalty. We are jumping a tiny bit ahead now. They are serving their penalty. We are up into P4, and we are going to jump to the end of this race. And towards the end, I was gaining on the cars ahead of me. You can see, especially through the two final corners, we are getting close. And as we are getting a run towards the finish line, it ended up with us just about stealing the fastest lap as well. And now I decided to skip a race because I could feel I was messing about in this car. And this is a deliberate continuity error. This exact lap is actually from after I did the final race, but just before I did the final race, I almost got into the 120s but got a penalty, so I had a quick go after the final race. The first marker is the 300 board, and the key is you really need to downshift late. You can even downshift later than I did there. Just downshift when you are right at the apex and let go of the brake, and then the car will rotate nicely. And now we are coming up the hill. We are going to upshift as soon as the rev bar fills out. Not really any point trying to rev it any further. There's a turbo on this car, it will get some boost, and now we are coming up towards the next marker, which is the 400 board. And now you need to stay in 5th gear, in fact all the way until you get to that first wall. Then I'm downshifting to 4th and letting go of the brake, making sure I can steer the car through. And I'm just going to stay in 4th gear all the way around this long right-hander, just coasting in. I'm looking for the I Love New York sign there, but accelerating a tiny bit after that because this is a tighter corner than it is on the full layout. Now we are coming up towards one of the final brake markers, which is the 300 board, and we are just staying in 4th gear. You can see I was just revving out 4th gear, no point of upshifting there. We are staying in 4th gear, letting the car coast in, finding the inside of that corner. And here we have that end of the wall there, the tire wall. That is the marker for this one. We are still staying in 4th gear, seeking for the inside camber, and then as early on the power as possible. And now we are going to go across the line in a 1:20.887, and this was just a small 5 to 10 minute qualifying session after my final race. But you can see my qualifying time before the final race was 1:21.189, as I got a penalty just before getting a 1:20 just before this race started. So yeah, but anyway, now we've got all the TCR drivers in this one, including Titsney. We are starting in P3, and we've got Diddy ahead of us, who I believe is only racing in VR, which makes me a bit more alert, because I know, even though it's amazing to race in VR, there is some limited visibility as well. But we are just taking it nice and easy, and we are coming up towards the first trip through the bus stop chicane. We are making sure to just brake early, not the best run through there. It can be tricky when you are having someone in front of you, but we sort of survived it. We are still alive and hanging on to Diddy and Fred in P1, who got a penalty as well. So we just need to stay with them, and then we might get a free position as well. Now for the penultimate corner, staying in 4th gear this time, cutting a bit too much there, I will admit that, and still staying in 4th gear, just letting the car coast in and get back onto the power, and we are going to jump a bit. Now we've got P1 serving that penalty. We managed to stay close to them, and can we get ahead? It is going to be a bit tight, but we managed to do so. They are going to get a move done back on us now. We are on the inside and have to give some room. We will be losing a bit of time doing all this stuff, and meanwhile, while we are fighting, we've got Chicane in P4, and Chicane is really fast, so will be catching us soon. So also have to be aware of that. We are coming through turn 1 for the 3rd time, and Chicane is gaining fast on us. I am getting nervous, and you will see that as we're coming into the penultimate corner. I get it sort of wrong, gets a bit too sideways, and also almost running off the track. P2 is running off, and then suddenly Chicane disappeared from the board, and we need to see what's going on. Chicane was really having some unlucky moments, first picking up a penalty on the exit from the long right-hander, and now under pressure from behind, and coming into the penultimate corner, goes completely sideways, and then the car just snaps, and poor Chicane ends up facing the wall backwards. Meanwhile, I am still chasing P2 and almost getting a penalty, and P2 is going to get a penalty running across the grass there. So we just need to stay close. But wow, a 2-second penalty, that is a bit harsh in my opinion. P2 decides to just completely back out of it. Didn't really have to do that, could have just stayed ahead. But now it's up to me to keep up the pace and have that responsibility. And of course I am going to be a bit clumsy through the bus stop chicane. You know me, under pressure. But we managed to not make a complete mess out of it, and now we are coming up towards the penalty zone. I had some really good racing with Fred this morning, so thanks for the clean racing, and unfortunately they are just left behind there. My final attempt at the bus stop for this morning, definitely not brilliant, missing both of the middle apexes there, but we are going across the line in P2 in this third and final race of this Monday morning. This is a fun combo, even though we've had it before. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.